All right, starting back up. And you guys are at Richie. You've done a bunch of your shopping. How's that looking?
I'm basically done. I have a quick question though, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
I have some crystals, but I don't know what they do. Lightning Drake crystals. I have 4 of them.
Oh yeah, you never spent any time figuring those things out.
I think I got them. I don't even know where I got them from. Did I get them from Phil?
You got them right at the start of the Pentad chapter when you were jumped by kobolds riding them. Very battle-efficient kobolds.
Okay. Would I be able to spend some time identifying them? I don't know what they are, so I don't know if I need a gem.
They are a resonating crystal that can be crushed and imbued into magic items. So they're for enchanting.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. All right. Any other business?
I think so.
Business.
All right, so we're done with Richie. You've bought your new items. Jeffrey has his hellish slide whistle. Othig has his Avernus-styled glaive. You've filled your crystal vials full of health potion. And Mav has bought a really slick-looking wicked spear.
Yeah.
And he spins it around a few times, and that sucker is quick. It's real quick. He's pretty excited. Yeah. And you're all very proud of him because, he's getting a spear. It's what a good Kren dwarf should do.
It's about time.
Hey, don't forget that you got a +1. Wait, no, that's just me. Never mind.
No, I do have a +1 on spears.
No. Do you?
That's why I got a spear.
Nice.
Because he survived the...
That's right. You were the first one to get the +1.
That's right.
That's right. Yep.
So you guys are all set, and you're currently in Bitterhold, so you're in the Sultan's side of Avernus. You're not too terribly far from the Spicy Pixie, and where the twins keep the inn. Your groups have dispersed out to chase down the leads you have assigned them to go to. We should probably clarify that though. Who is doing what? Who's going to Stygia? To the cold world.
Oh yeah, we never said who's going where. We just
said the big dude with the Minotaur.
All right. The fist goes to Minotaur or Stygia.
Minotaur.
Yep. You have 2 groups going monster hunting.
The dwarves and the...
Oh yeah, and then the 2 groups were looking for resurrection power.
Yep, 2 of them are already gone. And then... And one is following up leads on the collector. So who do you want to send monster hunting, and who do you want to send to the collector? The Duergar going monster hunting? I heard that. Yeah. And then you have 2 others. Makes more sense. You're keeping the Iron Vanguard, so you have the Silver Blades, and who else is there? Silver Blades, Fist, Duergar. You don't have another group to send because you're down to 6 groups and not 7.
Oh, that's right.
Because it's one group combined.
Yep.
So that leaves the Silver Blades following up the lead on the collector. Okay, that's all set. Do you guys want to do anything else in Avernus before? Do you want to talk to the Sultan? Do you want to hit the Pixie?
Oh, we should go back and share that information with the Sultan.
He did want to read Mav's copy.
So let's head there and do that.
Okay.
Would he provide any information on the 2 based on the information that we're giving him?
He probably would. Because he did say that obviously if you'd come to him first with the deal, that would have been ideal, but he understands you made a decision and that's just the way things are, but he does like that. So he will let you know about the other 2. Let's see. The Pawn Master, he is unaware of his exact type, which is very strange overall. I guess it's Yeah, as a whole, it's strange. It's not very strange because he works for the Lord of Many Faces, who is the domain chief of Maladamini, and all of his minions are, to some degree, typeless, where they're very hard to categorize what kind of fiend or monstrosity or whatever they are. And it is intentional. Whatever he is extremely powerful, and he commands the legions of Maladamini. And he is constantly sacrificing lesser demons and fiends to get his master's way. That's the basic rundown of the Pawn Master. The basic rundown of the lady is she is the most politically active, and she works for Loth. She is basically the vice president of Loth. So she is a spider monstrosity when she is in her non-cursed form. In her cursed form. In her non-cursed form, she is a gorgeous drow, and she has no problem playing up that side of it. And she is constantly pulling political strings in Avernus. Are there any specific questions you would like to know about them? You can kind of have an open tab of information on them, but he would tell you he could spend the next 30 years telling you stories about them.
I don't particularly have any right now.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions about those topics, feel free to come back. With the trade of him being able to read the ledger, which he finds fascinating. He reads it in a handful of minutes. It took you like days to copy it, and he's just like digests it almost immediately. He found it very enlightening to know what one of the other key players in Avernus thought. Why is everybody laughing?
Tony.
I'm harassing Adam.
I'll share with the class.
Jeffrey told Thanex something.
You should get Marilee a broom so she can be a proper witch. My response was just a frowny face.
All right. He would you would cross with Minion Master on it. When you see fiends still walking around in Avernus, there's a good chance that they are connected to the pawn. Just so for him, he's unavoidable, but he advises you to stay well away from the lady as best you can.
Are we rested, by the way?
Yeah, you guys would have a rest in here by now.
Okay.
I can throw that in Discord.
Okay, cool.
Not Discord, Fantasy Grounds. What do we use? We use Fantasy Grounds.
You can throw it in Discord, but it's not going to be as helpful.
Fancy grounds.
You guys still have the Vanguard with you. These guys are no longer with you.
Did we ever share with the Sultan the weird situation with being surrounded at times in Avernus by?
No,
by the
we haven't
hyenas
yet.
or whatever?
Yeah.
Or
Do we
whatever.
Did we ever
ask
share
him
that
about
with him?
No. Do you want
I'm
it?
just. What's that?
Do you want to?
Yeah, because I'm just thinking like. I wonder if that's I wonder if that's some of the minions of the Pawn Master then.
Probably not. I feel like that's probably going to be something far more animalistic. But
Well, nobody knows what the Pawn Master is. I'm waving at looking at me.
Get away
Sure.
harder. We've howled.
My father.
Wave Alda. Yeah. Nobody he knows other than Asmodeus has ever seen the Pawn Master.
what is the howling about?
Are we going to ask about that?
Sure.
Okay. So you ask about it. Here comes Lynn. What's up, Lynn?
If you're gonna grin about it, then I don't want to ask.
She's not coming in, she said.
You're talking with your friends.
They're your friends, too.
I'm eating.
She's eating. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Because I grinned about it, you don't want to ask now? Okay. That's fine. I don't have to tell you anything.
No. Does the Sultan grin, or is just Mike grinning? Yeah. Are you grinning like
the Sultan says that the woods are full of many creatures, but he finds it peculiar you've been harassed by hyena creatures multiple times?
Sounds like it.
He thinks about it for a moment, and he's like, yes. I did hear something about that. Were you not responsible for being a major thorn in the side of one Yanogu?
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Those are most likely his servants, and you are probably being hunted.
If we kill them here, they're gone for good, just like everything else. Just like.
Yes and no.
There'll be more even if we do kill them. They'll just get.
If we as fiends die here, it is more like you dying on the prime.
Where do you go?
They go back to that tower and they become another imp.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think that's how
They
that
gotta do.
no!
A tour guide imp.
They have to be a tour guide again.
Yeah. They start all over. They start all
wonder
over
they're
from the
so
bottom
afraid
of the
of
hive.
dying.
Oh, poor lady. She's got to go back to being an imp.
Oh, she's not nearly as pretty as an imp.
The humiliation of it all.
Mm-hmm. So he tells you that you're probably being tracked by Yanogu's followers looking for an opportunity to take advantage of you.
Taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
That's not good. Is he here? Is Yanogu here?
He's a resident of the Nine Hells, so he's here somewhere. He doesn't have his own domain. He does spend a lot of time in what's the name of that place? The hunting grounds. Malbog.
Yeah.
Malbog. We should go there.
No. Wait, why do you want to go someplace we're gonna get hunted?
Because we're getting hunted anyways. We might as well go to the source.
And kill the hunter.
So many more important things to do.
No, one of the leads is.
Yeah, we're already on a lead. Let's deal with that one first.
But if we don't keep up our appearance as murder hobos, who are we really?
Well, we're not murder hobos. They're fiends.
You're definitely not hobos. You have a castle.
Yeah,
we're not hobos. We have a place to live, and we're actually entering their place to live. We're murder burglars.
Yeah.
Murburglars.
I'm a burglar hobbit.
And besides, if we have our own castle, we are murder lords.
That's true.
You are a lord.
And lords can make their own rules, so it's not murder.
Yeah.
This Lord Thanok is actually your title.
It's not
and honestly, our stuff is a lot nicer than hobos too.
Yeah.
I mean that's real.
It's not a color.
Murder.
All right, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What does the Vanguard think of us with this remarkable banter? Ooh, did they buy anything? Were we able to pass that along to anybody else?
No, that's just for you guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you told us last week you didn't want to share.
I'm pretty sure that
don't.
was...
Not without a price. I mean, sure, we can upcharge them this way. We can buy some at 40% off and sell it for the regular price. That's profit, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that'll get an X-name pretty quickly.
This coming from the guy who was going to charge you for potions.
No, I wasn't. Just wasn't going to give them away. There's no charging.
What you said?
You are totally the people who are buying 800 rolls of toilet paper. That's what you are.
Hoarder?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That's fine. Buy all the toilet paper you like, as long as you don't start calling everything communism, displaying that you have no idea what communism.
Or as long as you don't start trying to sell it back to the place that you bought it from because you bought it in error. Like, shut up. Get that crap out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're
all right. So you're done chatting it up with the Sultan?
Yeah, I believe
I think
so.
so.
Does he have anything he wants from us? Has he portrayed any other desire towards our ability or anything? Because I'm a pretty one-sided relationship with him. We've offered up a lot. I didn't know if there was anything else where it seemed like he was maybe trying to fish for more from us, or if he
is the type of guy who
enough.
No, his personality is to lurk to Jeff. And I don't say that in like a sort of way where he's a fiend. He's always trying to get the upper hand. He's opportunistic. He doesn't necessarily go start something, but he will get in on something.
Gotcha.
There are other fiends you could have connected with that have different styles of personalities. So he's not one to offer or to send you on things because that gives information about what he's really after.
Well, except for the gambler.
Well, that was, you asked him if he could get you a pass into
Yeah, he didn't
a
offer
realm.
that up. We asked him, and he said, "Yeah, if you're looking."
Yep. I could give you a job, and you struck a deal, and he gave you a job. So that's more his personality. So he does not offer any forward momentum. He would say, though, if you come into contact with interesting items like a journal of a high-ranking fiend in the cities, that you should probably talk to him first.
Have we been able to glean anything as far as his motives so far from the way that we've been dealing with him, or have we basically just been running blindly through our relationship with him?
You've been running pretty blindly. You haven't yet gone to his palace, so you have not been invited into the inner sanctum of his palace. You've met with him at the Pixie. He took you to one of his warehouses, he said, and where you saw a lot of stuff, everything from magical items and baubles to statuary to a man encased in crystal with a dagger stuck in his chest. All things that he had, just a huge variety of stuff. And he called it one of his warehouses. You know, he buys up property.
Does he sound like a collector?
Maybe.
Let's talk to him. Why are we so dumb? Let's talk to him about the whole collector thing.
Let's ask him if he's got a rod of the betrayer or whatever.
Sure. Go
Hey, do you
for
have
it,
that?
then.
We're looking for it.
Do you want to ask him
I mean, yeah.
if he has that?
Not
Because the last time that got brought up, you guys were like, no, we don't want anybody to know.
I still don't think we should let anyone know, but
No, we shouldn't. But it's not a bad idea to see if.
You can see his rod.
Hey, can I see your
we
rod?
shouldn't not ask that to people. You want to ask him?
We're in hell.
You should you should definitely not ask that in the Spicy Pixie. Because
Show you his rod.
Because
You're gonna
everyone
get
is
a
going to turn around and show us their rod.
If we are actually asking about the specific rod, not just his rod, Matt would like to watch for his expression to see how surprised he is, or
But you're actually asking
if he
him?
tells him.
I think we should.
I'm not.
I don't really see a point in not.
Hypothetical. Just ask him if he's the collector.
Well, because if he knows what it is, he's not just going to give it to us.
Right.
Yep.
No one's just going to give it to us. Whatever
Yes.
situation we find ourselves in.
I mean, the other guy gave it to us.
Which guy?
The guy that killed
The
you.
one we killed.
Us there. No worries.
I mean, we're all better. He healed you. You're fine.
If no one's going to ask him, then
I would like to ask him but I mean, because basically what we're looking for is not the rod of the betrayer. What we're looking for is a
Piece of a mundane
Piece
rod.
of it.
piece of a. Did could we, based on the other piece of the rod that we have, would we be able to kind of figure out what the rest of the pieces would look like?
Maybe it would look like
Yeah.
the shaft, maybe not so much, but
What side do we have? Oh, we have like one of the ends. But at least we would have possibly an idea of like what color it is, what general size it is, possibly.
Yeah. So do you want to try to slyly ask him about the rod?
I would like to.
Okay. Then you guys have some time to plan it out. So I will allow Jeffrey to ask him. We'll call it a deception check, even though he's not really deceiving. It's just an attempt to hide Jeffrey's true inside of this.
Subterfuge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I am going to roll. Okay.
Am I able to assist?
I'm going to go with no on this one.
Okay.
Okay. So it's still not a terrible. Yep. Guidance can definitely be in there though, for sure.
I've also things to work on.
Okay.
There you go.
Jeff's in the middle of telling a story and asking some questions, and he runs over and high fives the gong. And the Sultan's like,
which isn't that abnormal for Jeffrey.
"What are you doing?"
I had an impulse. I'm sorry.
So,
So absurd.
it's a mixed success. So he's not. He knows you're up to something, but you're not sure. And Mav is specifically watching this, so Mav is uncertain if he knows what you're asking, and so you ask him. You would know how you would go about doing this, but Jeff's good at making stuff up. So you're asking
Jeffrey
about.
would likely ask him something about "Can I see your rod?" but in a way that isn't "Can I see your rod?" He'd make it a you.
Jeff, you need to reveal something about that you guys would rather not have revealed about your presence here.
I am going to reveal that
We're on a mission from God.
we are on a mission from a power. I don't know if I want to reveal who, but maybe something that's a little bit telling about the nature of the who. But that we are on a mission from somebody to. I think I'm okay with acquisition. We are searching to acquire something for a power.
Okay. So you let in exchange for you're let's just say you're generically fishing for some of the hell's greatest legends.
Yeah.
You know, and he corners you at one point in time as you're asking this, and he's like, "So, but why? Who? Mind comes to the hills looking for things," and you just kind of go, "Oh, well, we're working for it," and you catch yourself. You say, "Someone in the acquisitions department," and he smiles because you caught yourself, and he's. You mean you're not exclusively working for me? And he's got this like false sense of woundedness about him. He's like,
that.
How terribly sad. But sensible. So, and then he goes on to tell you a couple of different stories. He tells you the story about how eons and eons ago Orcus challenged Lucifer for control of the hells, complete control of the hells, and Lucifer cut him up into pieces and mailed him around the world. And then didn't bother to tell anybody he'd done that. And left pieces out there that had been found and then rehidden and refound and all sorts of stuff like that. He tells you about different rebellions that have gone on. He does mention the story that you're fishing for, and he says that he believes that the pieces of the rod are in places that no one would expect them to be.
So he knows that they're in pieces. Because that wasn't something we knew upon coming here.
Yeah.
It was not. It was not either. But he knows they're in pieces.
I'm gonna feign interest in a couple of the other ones and prolong the story and the conversation as if searching for all that data.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can piece out that piece and just throw it in the middle somewhere.
Yep.
Okay.
Ask a little bit about getting a little bit more information about how he knows they were in pieces and like general that knowledge is, but also just kind of piecing it into, I want to know more about all of these things, even though I really don't.
He tells you that he's pretty convinced that one of the pieces is here in Avernus. He would say he has it on good authority that one of the pieces at least was here in Avernus. Mention the incident with the adventurers. In conjunction with that, he mentions a being actor.
I guess I'll kind of not throw a jab, but make a statement about you seem to be a collector. What's the difference between a collector and the collector?
He says, I am indeed a collector, but I am not the collector. And as he's saying that, like the other group comes in, it's like, the ones that's looking for the collector. And he says he's not. They're like, not him.
We found some leads.
And he kind of shoots a glance over. He says that a lot of fiends, basically one of the things about their kindness, they collect things.
Okay.
Trophies in displays. Yeah. He says the more powerful you are, the more trophies you accumulate, the more things you show off. It's a statement of power. He says, but the collector is different.
Matt was going to say that that's the same with dwarfs. You should see Thanos' collection of heads.
Yeah.
Then he would say, and Otig's collection of weaponry.
Yeah.
I do collect weaponry.
Yep. And so he says that there is an entity out there known as the collector specifically.
He had said that fiends just collect things just kind of as a show of power or whatever, but he does it. The collector does it for different reasons.
Oh, valid question.
He says he has never met the collector, but he believes with the collector it's more of a piece of his actual existence. The more things he has, the more powerful he actually is. Where most fiends display that in reverse. The more powerful they grow, the more things they accumulate to show everybody how powerful they are. That the collector cannot become more powerful until he collects more things.
All right.
That makes sense. Well, we should pass that information along to the group that's actually hunting down the collector, and we should head off, unless we want to switch roles, chase down the collector, and send them after where we were headed. Speaking to the group.
Do you mention that you're looking for somebody in connection with the cards? Does that get brought up?
Because that's what we were after, correct?
Yeah. I think if we are asking these questions, that might be something you want to slip in, as well as with all those other things that were being talked about.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Okay. Another deception check to make sure you pull that off without being too clunky.
Do we know anything about Vistani? Have we met Vistani and know Vistani?
I'm probably know of.
But not know that they have, like, cards and stuff?
Yeah, well, maybe they're pretty. I like them so much. Like in regular D&D lore, they're super rare, but I like them. They're about
Gotcha.
on a fairly regular basis. And you guys have been through Barovia a few different times. I would say that you, like most of us, have probably never met a real life gypsy, but we all know what a gypsy is.
Okay.
You know, I would say it's probably similar to that.
See, I would probably slip it in a way of talking about like how different a tarot card reading down here must be.
Sure. I mean, go ahead and make a check. We'll see how clunky it comes out.
Are we talking about deception again?
Yep,
Okay.
Can Mav watch the reaction again?
you can.
Are you using guidance, Matt?
Sure.
Pow.
So he says that is conversational segue in what we were talking about. I have a collection of Vistani tarot cards. They're quite unique. Would you like to see them?
Sure.
Sure.
That depends. Why are you being creepy about it?
He's creepy about everything, man. It's
Probably for the same reason that we're being creepy about
Stop
it.
being racist.
That's seriously what I was just about to say.
It's awesome.
He would say that it has not taken me long in this conversation to know that we are dancing to similar but different tunes. I'm just trying to figure out where you are attempting to lead me.
Well,
Well, do you like long walks on the beach?
Not particularly. The sand is not. The sand and my kind do not get along.
Okay. Oh gosh.
So he takes you.
Doesn't it?
He invites you to dinner at this point.
At his place?
Yep.
is there recognizing that probably if we were different people, this would be a great honor. But
This is the point where you're gonna say, but he's a fiend.
he's a fiend and we're not. So like I am not honored by this really at all, but I also recognize that this is not
Just-
a light.
Just view it as someone who's in a position of power.
Well, what I was going to ask is there something that like do we bring some wine?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you want to bring something? Like, is that what you're wondering? Yeah.
Looks at you and he's all like, "Man, this ain't no potluck." No, you would probably want to bring a gift. Oh, there I go. Here I'm back.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It wasn't you that left.
It wasn't you.
Oh, I just heard the noise and assumed it was me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now I know what I'm gonna be doing like every game.
Yeah.
It would be wise to bring a gift, and it's friendly.
Is there?
Yeah. What's the protocol?
I have never done this in real life, so I don't actually know.
What are we doing?
Is it rude to ask?
You've
the
never brought a
person-
gift to a fiend before in real life? Like,
No,
who are you?
no. I mean, I brought some gift to some fiends, but
I was really hoping you would come back with that.
no. Is it rude to ask the person you're going to their house what kind of gift to bring them?
Yes, it's not rude. It's just tacky.
I mean, if you're coming to my house and you want to bring a gift, you can ask. I'll tell you.
I mean, it's one thing to be like, hey, like, for somebody's like, hey, like, come over and making dinner. They're like, hey, do you want me to bring like a soda or something?
That's
totally different.
Yeah,
That's
when
totally different than
when it's people you
Yep.
know and they're friends, it's
Yeah.
totally fine. But when it's not that situation, then it's
yeah.
Yep.
and so I don't know. I feel like we would try to find
you do
some.
Would,
totally know what to bring.
we'll there afterwards. Slip
Yep.
some coins.
So Sarah's going to tell you that he particularly drinks blood wine almost exclusively. It's got a very spicy smell to it and a pretty unique bouquet, she says. So you could pick up a bottle of that, and the cost of her letting you know that would be 15 soul coins.
Okay, but before we do that all the time, is there something that he saves for
Special
more
occasions?
rare occasions?
She says there has been a few times where he has been in here. He has brought out. She calls it a.
And how much?
But that's going to be 100.
100 or 100 for
100 for the bottle.
For the bottle and the information.
100 total.
Yep.
So
I'll buy it.
do we want to split
Yeah,
it?
I'll
I got it.
toss in for it. You got it? You just got it?
I got
Okay.
it.
We're doing it.
I'm finally dipping into the amount I started with.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, how much did we start with? 250?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never mind. I have not reached my starting amount.
I haven't yet either. So, which is impressive.
I'm only 20 away. I'm 20.
I guess I did buy 3 spells. So.
I gambled on Mav's life, so.
So you get this year 3 blood wine, and it's got its wrath grapes.
The Grapes
And-
of Wrath.
Yep, sort of. And it has a really well done sketching of a brother clubbing his other brother.
Oh.
Year 3. Oh, man. Things got weird.
So sad.
I'm going to ask her what that's about.
It's like
I
I was
think-
already gonna say this is definitely like tops the list on one of the weird, like the most weird things.
Yeah.
Jeffrey wants to ask Sarah about what the label's about.
Apparently, this year of Cain attempting to make wine, and
He decided to use his brother?
it just happened to be the year he clubbed his brother to death, and the grapes were really good that year.
All right.
For the hells.
Right.
So, not a lot of these left.
Yeah. Well.
I can imagine there are.
It's a vintage bottle, is what you're getting at.
Yep.
Got it.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
yep. She says overall, it's not real good anymore, but it's unique. It's unique. So you show up at the Sultan's estate.
Do we get the sense that like we can consume it as well, or like we would not want to?
They've offered wine before, but you've passed for a more traditional fare. You watched Var drink a bunch of it.
Yeah, and he died.
He did die, but I don't know if the causation is
I don't
correlated.
think those are not unrelated.
However, Jeffrey died and he hasn't drank any.
Yeah, but you're still here, so you're. Imagine what would happen if you did have some.
Huh. Jeffrey's like, huh.
Yep. So you go to the Sultan's that night. He welcomes you in. You get into his palace. It is very Southeast Asian motifed for visuals. Lots of tall, bubbling minarets and pyramidal type architecture and things of that nature. And then arched doorways and the whole business. And there are tabaxi everywhere. There are hookahs and tabaxi and all sorts of stuff all over the place. Everybody's lounging on pillows. Dinner is served at a low table where everybody sits on the floor and leans against pillows. He asks if you like ribs.
I pictured with all of the tabaxi, there being pillows everywhere and the cats all just sitting in boxes.
Would any of us know well enough to look at their hands?
Probably not. And you probably You're pretty sure these are genuine tabaxi.
Okay.
What kind of ribs?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Baby back ribs.
He
It's soy
says,
ribs.
dire boar.
I can do Diabor.
Yep. Now you've heard that the meat of a dire animal is usually foul tasting. These are great. These are just spectacular. The meal is genuinely pretty good.
Did he say anything about the gift we brought him?
Oh, he loves it. Absolutely loves it. I was waiting to see if you guys presented it or not.
Oh,
Yeah, I was thinking that we would have done that first, like when we first came.
when we walked through the door.
We got distracted by the tabaxi.
Yeah.
He loves it, and he compliments you on learning how things work down here so quickly.
Not that different from up top. I'm just going to throw that out there.
He says maybe in some ways, but in other ways, earning favors down here goes a lot further.
Fair enough.
You know,
Up
people
top, earning favors
people
just
up
gets you in
top
trouble.
decide yes, not to honor a favor and to take advantage. He's like, down here we pay our debts.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's pleased with this. So dinner goes fine. And then after dinner, he takes you.
Is there a brand on the barbecue sauce?
Devil
I feel
spit.
like it's anything other than devil spit.
It's famous Dave's devil spit. It's gotta be.
Worthless.
He calls one of his servants over. He's like, I had the cards brought up from the vault. Here, let me show them to you. And he lays out 27 Vistani Taroka cards. And he says that the saddest part about this is it's not a complete set. And no matter, he shows you the neat thing about these cards, no matter which way he turns them, they always come up inverted. The picture will slide and change and become inverted always.
Well, how many number is the complete set in this case?
30.
So
What's he missing?
The 3 that we have, most likely.
We have 3 of them?
We do.
Where did you guys get 3 Taroka cards?
I remember getting 3.
I
I
thought
don't
we had
remember
3.
getting any.
I don't remember
Did
this.
somebody else?
Jog my memory what we're talking about here.
We got our fortunes read, and she a handful of them to keep.
But do
Who?
they act the same?
Why do I not remember this at all?
I vaguely remember this, but
Or
do they?
was this an beginning? Was this
Yeah.
one of our intro stories?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Do you remember us getting our fortunes
I
read?
remember them being told like they're always upside down.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I have no.
Oh no, that was last week's cutscene.
Yeah. Okay.
Last week, yeah.
I'm also thinking of Il Buscador.
No.
Okay.
We got our fortunes read on the brands.
I was
that's
thinking
my
about the
bad.
cutscene.
Maybe I read
I
it
wasn't.
somewhere, and that's what I was
Yep.
thinking of.
No, I remembered us getting our fortunes read, but that's a separate thing.
Okay.
That wasn't
Never
us.
mind.
That was a different us, a different me. Too many games. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you don't have these cards. I was like, did I give these guys these cards and completely upend my story at some point in time? And he says that this is one of his most prized collections, and he tells you a very interesting tale about it. He says that there is an agent that works for the collector that appears to steal things from non-citizens of the Hells. Things that are unique, things that are powerful, things that are very one of a kind. And whenever that happens, the Sultan attempts to purchase the card. So far, he has secured every one of them.
So he got all these because a non-citizen of the Hell had one, and he was, or he.
A non-citizen of the Hells had something from them stolen, and when something is stolen, a card is left behind.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yep.
And he does say he says it's usually 1 for 1, but there was one time very early on before anybody really knew what was going on with these cards, which he believes indicates that the item stolen was of extraordinary value.
And that's the reason you believe that other piece of that other story is relevant. For the
what other story?
The rod piece thing.
Ah, the rod. The rod, yes. It could have been a piece of the rod.
I mean, none of the other things you were talking about seem that valuable.
Well, I don't know. I think the skull of Orcus would probably warrant 6 cards.
Jeffrey's going to pretend like he doesn't know who Orcus is.
So he's already told you. He told you that story. So you would know the story.
Oh, that's right. I do. Okay.
Yep. He's like, I have someone in my vault who could read these, but I don't want him. Yes, I have several people contained in my vaults, but I don't want to let them out until I have the full set.
What does the set do once it's whole?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you have any? Are there any duplicates? Do you have more than one of any of them?
No. There's only been each of these.
Interesting.
I think when the set is complete, that the cards will not be stuck in inverse positions, and then an accurate fortune can be told.
Oh.
Although with each of them being inverse, everyone who has ever given one of these, that most of them met terrible ends.
Do you think the inversion of these cards, the fortune tellings, they tell you they don't make your future, they just tell. With these being inverted, do you think they do like put curses on people?
Well, absolutely. Most of the people that have come into contact with these cards, who are given them by the agent of the collector, who Kami, have suffered the fate that their card foretold. Some of them I do not know what happened to them. I am only going to assume that they have met a demise in a way that their cards foretold. A Vistani would tell you that their cards in the hands of a powerful seer do as much predict the future as they do create it.
Well, now. That's some power.
Indeed it is. What would be worth 6 of those?
I think the head of Orcus would definitely be worth 6 of those. And it means you have 6 different ways you're going to die. That sounds awful. I mean, I've already only had 2. 3? How many times?
There's plenty of time left, Jeffrey. Is there anything else you gentlemen would want to know from me this evening?
How do I stop dying?
Put more points in Constitution.
I have a decent con. I have no one to take shots for me.
Hey.
That's
everyone.
We have twice your hit.
Yeah, well.
I'll show you all the scars of the acid that has sprayed all over me.
Yeah,
do you remember?
No, because I died and I lost that memory. But did you die?
No, because I have. So I have all
You have so many more hit points.
Same as
I have no idea how do you have so many hit points as a warlock?
Because I have extremely high constitution and I have toughness. Is it?
Sure, there's nothing tough about Jeffrey.
No. So, if there's nothing else to talk to the Sultan about.
No, I don't think so. Oh, are we able to tell which 3 he's missing?
You're not familiar enough with the deck. I would say he doesn't even know what 3 he's missing.
But he knows there's
supposed to be 30 in a deck. And he would tell you that every Vistani, that a deck is unique to the one who made it. They don't always have the same cards.
So there may be more than 30?
No, every deck always has 30 cards, but every deck might not have the Pale Horseman card. It might have a different card. And he smiles and he laughs and he's like, a modern deck of Vistani cards might have a Lady Kane card instead of the Horseman.
Oh.
She's a friend of yours, is she not?
I don't know if we would call her a friend, only because if we did, she might hurt us.
I mean, she's been helpful.
I think that makes her an ally. I don't know if that makes her a friend.
Well, I mean,
it took dying twice for you to call Filbert a friend.
No, that is incorrect. 100%. 100% incorrect.
Man, Tony is a bait monster tonight. He's just chumming the water.
He's making it so easy. I'm sorry.
The first episode, what did I do?
I brought you along. Set up his tent.
Very first episode.
Very begrudgingly.
No, not begrudgingly. It was like, here, brother, let me help you.
Was that the episode that he got killed by a chicken?
Yes.
He wants me to like me.
Listen, this guy's willing to stand up to a chicken. It's a
big deal.
It's a big deal in my book.
It was a jerk.
Okay. So, no other questions for the Sultan?
I don't think so. I mean, we have a bit of a lead there with the collector, and obviously we have a means of gaining more allyship with the Sultan across any cards that hopefully don't come to us, but I feel like there's some foreshadowing there.
I don't think we have anything like of extraordinary value.
Well, sure we do.
Yeah.
At the moment we have a...
Sorry, Othig does.
Yeah.
Othig doesn't think the piece of the rod we have is the piece of the scepter is valuable.
Probably isn't carrying it, is what I'm trying to imply.
Yeah.
Well, that's relevant. Who is?
It probably is very relevant.
Yeah, that probably is very relevant.
Who's got the bag of holding?
Do we want to put that thing in a bag of holding?
Yes. Do you want to put it somewhere else?
Not in a bag of holding?
Then you've got it.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Where are you keeping it?
In my pants.
You don't want to know.
I do want to know. I want to know if Gable could have gotten it from him.
No, absolutely not. And I think you mean lady.
Lady Gable?
Yeah. No, just lady. I will take it. I am concerned about putting this thing in bag of holding because this is like an artifact level artifact.
Right, but it's completely mundane.
But is it?
But is it? But is it really?
Yes.
Listen, do you know what this thing does?
No.
Right.
Do you?
So I'm gonna know. That's why I'm not putting it in a bag of holding.
I mean, you don't know what I do, and I'm pretty sure you'd put me in there if you had to. I'm just saying.
You can't fit.
I sure can. I'm a halfling. I'm small. I can get it.
You can definitely fit a halfling in a bag of holding. Absolutely. You can absolutely put your
What if we put you in leg first and just have like your head sticking out? Carry you around.
Genuinely don't like that.
We could like cinch it up to his neck.
No.
If you did that, then you could probably fly him on a kite.
Yeah.
Just a head flying around.
Yeah.
Now, the more important question is, when he moves his arms inside the bag of holding and speaks outside of the bag of holding, does he cast spells?
I would have to keep hands out. I'd have to be like this, like.
No, I think the magic could come out of your mouth. I would allow that.
I mean, he's a bard. He's a bard. So the music. The would have.
Absolutely.
We need.
There's no way.
It's funny because I was just about to ask if there was like something that we could offer him in return, but I think he would want
a sideshow. He wants a spec.
He wants a gnome sticking out of a bag.
Guys, why does everything we do involve me being airborne? Jeff Missile, Jeff Kite. I
need to
don't
fly.
like any of this. I don't. I'm not supposed to fly. If I was supposed to fly, I'd have wings. And halflings don't have wings.
Yet.
I've never seen one. Angels get wings, and I'm clearly not an angel.
Jeff, if you'd like, I
So
can make it
guys?
so it's less discomfortable for you.
Jeff, if you polymorphed into a harpy, you would have wings.
You can't polymorph into a
Seems like a you problem.
Yeah.
unless I can polymorph into a harp on the tassels.
I can make you so that you don't know where you are.
No, let's do something important.
So
Not fly Jeff as a kite.
So basically what we learned is that there is possibly a Vistani, but the agent of the collector.
Robbing people.
Robbing people. But what would... How would we meet this person? How would we...
Flaunt that we have.
No one's ever met her.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, how does that information actually help us?
Well, if we want to get a card to give to the Sultan, all we have to do is flaunt that we have something valuable, and then we'll die. But I don't think that's worth it. Flaunt that someone else has something valuable, and let them die and steal their card.
No, I don't think that's going to work like that.
No, but it's an option.
No, my thought is using that and then catching her. I say her, but I don't know.
Them.
Catching the Vistani.
It makes sense with a Vistani that somebody with a deck of cards, they're almost always exclusively ladies.
Yeah.
Right.
There are things that under normal circumstances I think we could set up a trap that would work. But with being in hell, being with the Vistani, I don't know. With not even that this is a Vistani, but this is a Vistani that nobody has ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how. I don't know if these like certain spells and abilities would have much effect on her. Like,
right.
Set
we
up.
We are remarkably powerful. We could set up something like a force cage, which I have access to. We have access to other abilities that maybe some of these other people. We could start asking the Sultan. We can ask the Sultan what some of these people were like and find out what kind of power level these people had and see where we sit on the scales compared to them. We can even get the Sultan in on it. Be like, hey, we have a thought and a plot here that maybe the thing we're looking to acquire the collector has, and if we can get a hold of this Vistani, we can maybe get you your cards. And if you can help us with this, we can get what we want, you can get what you want. Any thoughts, any ideas? Because the Sultan wants those cards, and if we get this person, we have access to possibly getting him something that he desires, admittedly, more than anything, he just said. Like, this is his most prized collection, he wants this more than anything. If we're able to acquire that for him, I think we have him on a string. And I would say that in front of him. Because at this point in time, he's figured out that we're talking angles and we're doing things, and I have no problem speaking out loud in front of him with that statement, because I think he also would think it to be true. I don't know if the Sultan would agree with me or not, but
he's been sitting quietly as you unpacked the information he gave you, with his hands kind of folded in front of his face, and he says, "Your plan all comes apart because you do not have something of value that would draw the collector out, unless you do." And then he smirks.
And then Mav will smirk.
And then Thanic will smirk.
we have me. I am so important.
Yes, Jeffrey, you are amazing. Not everybody could be a kite.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Just amazing.
So what is the bait?
How willing do we want him to know about the?
I think we're at that point. So
Nope, because there's one other thing we could play that he wouldn't necessarily know.
A bastion.
oh,
That's what I was thinking too.
human bait.
Human bait.
Well, he's a dwarf, but yeah.
So
He would leave.
does that mean we would all get the card? Like, not our possession?
And would I be stolen?
Yeah, would you just
would
be
it just take your soul?
outright stolen? Yeah.
I'm just missing.
They just steal your soul and leave you with the card
bastion's
after.
a big deal. And
It is a big deal.
Probably as important as some of these other items.
Would you throw that on the table?
The collector ever collect beings?
Or
He
souls.
does not collect the being, but, and he looks at Othic, he says, a soul could be a different board game. An item that could trap your soul. I used it not too long ago on one Skylar Snowbrook. She came looking for it. Angry little woman. We could use it on you. And perhaps lure them out.
Removes Mav's soul?
Yes. His body and mind would still function. However, he would be separated from his soul. He would probably be a bit of an emotionless automaton.
I mean, it kind of already is already. Like, no. I mean, that's kind of how we like you.
Oh, man.
No offense, but
Yeah.
But here's the offense.
No offense, but
No offense, but you have the
You don't have
personality
a-
of a dead.
you don't communicate, you interface.
Oh,
He's not.
Whirring and humming.
So
I don't like that idea.
I don't hate it.
One of the other things
I mean-
we do have is we do have the regalia of the queen, which those items aren't to be scoffed at. Full set of her
Especially-
stuff is.
Do
is
we
remarkably
don't know
powerful.
that she's dead, do we?
Nope. And now that no one else can ever get a set of that armor is probably also remarkably powerful.
Do they know that she's dead?
Someone probably knows.
But also I feel like, well, maybe, I guess we're not. Never mind.
So
I mean, what's thoughts on that?
are we even able to broach the subject of the queen's armor?
Haha!
Yeah, we
Wonderful
might not be
question.
able to.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
you find you have no trouble speaking about it at all.
I don't know if that's
Much,
a good thing or
much
a
to your
bad thing.
surprise.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So maybe bring that. Jeffrey would be willing to bring that up and see where that falls and where that lies as far as bait would be concerned.
That we all have a favor from from the
From
Queen
what
of
we
Labyrinth?
know, we can talk about it to people who already know it.
Correct.
Who are familiar
Yeah.
with her, correct?
So I think the only thing we figure out
Is
The
that
only
he
thing-
knows about the queen.
Yeah,
Right. It might also just be that it doesn't matter now that she's dead.
I'm sure that's what it is.
But we
know that.
don't know.
I mean,
Right,
while
that's
we're on
fair.
the topic, though, we could probably ask him about it. Like, hey, do you know about her? Because we're able to talk to you about it
Right.
if we
Exactly.
decide to do that.
He would tell you that she is a known entity to him.
There you go.
Wow.
He thinks that that's the trick, but he doesn't know because he doesn't know if the collector already has a set.
Oh, okay. So you don't know what the people had stolen from them to get the cards.
He tells you rumors are that they had a piece of the rod. He said, actually, rumors are they had the rod.
Gotcha. But there's 20 some other cards that had that people had stuff stolen from them, or was it all for that?
No, the 6 cards were left for that.
Right. So
there were 21 other things that were stolen, but he's certain there are other ways the collector gets things than sending this to Stani.
Right. Well, I was wondering if any of the cards had fallen due to that, but that makes sense. Is he aware of, for the 21 others, is he aware of what was stolen to get their card? Okay. Just trying to
in some
value.
cases, yeah. No, they're all artifact level type items.
Okay.
That he is aware of. There are some really rare magical items that have been listed among that, but it's usually something that is unique and super powerful.
Gotcha. Okay, and we don't have anything aside from Mavamine and the piece of the rod that would qualify.
I don't think so.
Correct.
I think those might be the only 2 things.
Okay. All right, I think that leaves us where we are with that. Mav, do you want to suck your soul?
Well, if we're stuck on my soul, you guys are signing a contract that if we don't get it back, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
like we're signing a contract with you? You don't think you're going to want to go get your soul back? You think you need to sign a contract?
He's not going to care.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's a contract health.
Mav, are you worried about your soul?
Yeah.
I think he wants to keep it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
that's
for
fair.
the
However,
I would have to imagine as Andy, a Bastion who is a devout member of the church, would not want his soul to remain in the possession of a fiend for eternity.
right. It was just a couple of days ago we did put it on the line for a gambit out there.
Yeah, but there was a plan there to probably not have that.
There's a plan here too.
Probably not.
Adam,
I'm
did you
just
hear that?
saying-
This is where Andy starts yelling out about Fiend.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you didn't make me sign a contract last week, but you're making me sign a contract this week, and I'm wondering what the difference is. Do you trust us less?
I think the last time it happened, it was
Hey,
You lost my soul.
Hey,
I
at this
did
point-
nothing of the sort.
At this point, you're lucky he just doesn't charge you.
I would like to say that I feel like I have become a better person since I've been down here. So there's that. You trust me less, and I've become better.
That's a problem. That is a problem.
Bards really do belong down here. I'm convinced now.
Hey,
I wasn't convinced until that statement just now.
Now that I've seen the other side, I am terrified. Okay.
No.
You're just making your case even more, buddy. Keep it up.
Hey, I had that barbecue sauce, and that clearly didn't come from down here. So I want to go to the other place.
Mavami, as far as I'm concerned, I am not really willing to risk either of those options, your soul or the rod. But whatever, if you like, I'll stand behind your decision on it.
I can go either way.
Well, sounds like it's time to roll
At least one of us can.
Okay. Evens, it's me. Odds, it's the rod.
All right.
Oh, thank heavens.
I was gonna say I was really hoping you'd take a second before you rolled because I was gonna say let's be realistic about this. We should probably just
That's
make
2 out of 3.
No, it should probably be the rod.
Okay.
Ha!
So you are
Still
going to
around.
set up a trap.
Yeah.
We're good at that
using
lately.
the pommel of the rod as bait.
Yeah.
Are we able to
What does the Sultan think of that? Since I
replicate
guess
it?
he's part of the conversation now.
This requires him knowing that we
Yep. Have
are.
it.
Yeah, right.
Are we able to replicate the rod in any way that
You
would
mean the pommel or the rod itself? Like, we
the
don't know what it
pommel
looks like.
to try and deceive them?
You could definitely try.
Since it does not emit any magic, there wouldn't necessarily be a way to tell.
You have a good tinkerer with you, and he might be able to.
And a blacksmith and
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
You know what? That's a pretty legit idea, and I think to make it even more plausible, we replicate another part, either the other rod end, because we have one that we can look at, or what we think the rod shaft would look like, and only do it so that it's 2 of the 3 pieces, because I think it would be unbelievable for us to have 3 of 3 pieces.
well, here's the
Right, but
problem.
we
They
don't know
have
what
one.
piece they have.
Yeah. So if we make the wrong piece,
They're going to know that we do.
Oh,
we have
that's
to
a good
only-
point.
Only
That's a
make
really
the one
good point.
piece.
All right, that's a good point.
Okay, so you are letting the Sultan in on the secret that you guys are hunting the rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where
we've
we're
got
at.
the sense that
Feel like it was
information
gonna
we
come to
give
that pretty
him
soon anyway.
is returned to us at some point
Yep. Okay.
because
So-
he doesn't want to keep a negative balance, correct?
Correct.
So
So-
even though we let him in, we'll figure something out later.
so let's do this. Let's start the statement off with, "We will tell you this. We have been hiding it from you because we don't want the
The debt.
negative
want-
balance debt on your side. So,
Okay.
giving you this information,
Just that.
there needs to be something on our."
Okay. So he's aware of that. He's like, okay. My suspicions on what you are looking for are narrowing. All right. Tell me, what is it that you have? And you tell him.
We have the
And
power of heart.
Of the cards.
you tell him, and he sits back against his cushions, and he's like, oh. And he looks over at one of his servants, and he snaps his fingers, and she brings over another bottle of wine, and he's like, I'm going to need a second tonight. He is a bit. He thought you guys were looking for the actual. He thought you were looking for the wand of Orcus, which is also currently being hunted for. And
Not
Wrong.
it.
he is kind of floored. It's obvious there is no need for a intuition roll on this one. He yep. He thought he had it in the bag of what you were looking for. Jeff, he picked up on exactly what you were doing. He just chose the wrong target.
Gotcha.
So he's like, so you're working for Echidna. She's your sponsor, I'm assuming?
Yep.
She's the only one really who would benefit from turning up the rod. Make this. You could tell he's calculating things in his mind. He's like, I will contact the broker and let him know that you have an artifact of great interest to Asmodeus. And he should set up a meeting. That should attract to the attention of the collector.
Yeah.
And then we need to make a duplicate. But
How does he feel about us making a duplicate? Like,
Yes.
He thinks it's a good idea. He thinks it's a good idea. However, if it is not a Vistani that comes for it, if it is a fiend, they will know. Because they know.
Because they know.
Gotcha.
But if it is a Vistani that comes, one of us is going to get a card.
Yes.
the one holding the rod.
You all might get a card.
Hey, that's good for you.
But yeah, he's just about to start to play that just as Edward says it. That is very good for me.
But there's only
Very
3 more,
good.
isn't there?
What if, in
There
order
might be a
to,
duplicate.
what if we, in order to, well, I guess it wouldn't really matter. I was thinking, what if we made multiple duplicates and we each had one? Then if something other than a Vistani showed, it would just look like we each had a duplicate so that we were hiding it. But that would cause the same issue if we had just one duplicate or one or more. But either way, we need to figure out what to do about when if it's a Vistani.
Uh-huh.
How do we stop them? How do we track them? How do we?
Pulls out his slide whistle and just kind of plays it real slow. He's like, "We cast magic at him."
Okay, that's under the assumption that we see them coming.
Yeah, we use your goofy little eyeball thing.
But
That
that only works for a total of a half hour a day.
See if we can get a better one. We have the means to set up traps.
We do. I'm my.
You guys doomed an entire family.
We did.
Oh
yeah.
Of a trap you guys set.
It was. My issue is just conventional means probably.
That's fair.
Could we cast alarm around it?
We can, but that was part of what I was thinking. Alarm is a level 1.
Yep.
It works on bandits, not.
Right? Yeah. I mean, like, there's a limitation to.
You mean the ones that can broker the gap between Barovia and the real world?
Yeah.
What?
So there's certain things that we can definitely do. I just don't to hey, let's just cast alarm, put us in a rope
You mean
trick.
the roll of a dice?
Surprise!
You don't just want to leave it to the roll of a dice?
I want to leave it to the roll of many dice.
You're only going to get one.
Odrik and I can get to work on making a duplicate of this thing.
Okay.
Can we create a physical, like, contraption to hold the rod? Like, it's a stupid example, but like the chain for the wallet that you attach to your pants.
Yeah.
A pen on a string at the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you guys can rig something up. So, Othig, make a blacksmithing check at advantage.
I'm gonna give you guidance.
I think we lost Mike.
Now we did.
Back.
Smithing tools.
So, yep. The Sultan will provide you a space to work.
Nice.
Plus how much?
Plus a D4.
Plus a D4.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. 30.
Nice.
All right. So, Othig, this might be the single best thing you have in your life.
Good, because it matters.
if you weren't going to painstaking lengths to make sure they didn't get mixed up, you might not know.
He put an R on the real one.
However, he got it confused at one point because he thought it might mean replica.
My wisdom. Yeah, that would actually be accurate. Yep. That is absolutely true.
And he
There's
just
like a good half an hour where he's sitting there just staring at him.
Instead, I just called Mav over and I'm like, hey, I know right now that this is the real one. I need you to know.
And then Thanak, you can go ahead and craft a magical tether.
Okay. So I can change the thing.
That's totally.
Yeah, I can help you with that, Thanos.
And you get guidance.
Yep.
Actually, I'll give you a bardic inspiration too. Why not?
Can you do both?
I sure can. Bardic inspiration lasts 10 minutes.
I'm gonna need it. 10. Was it D10?
It is.
Oh, that's nice.
And a D4.
That's better than your roll.
Yeah. So what is that?
29.
Do you want to use your
Use the
gong?
gong!
Oh, I'll use my gong too.
There you go.
There.
32.
32.
So,
All right.
Thanak, you create a device that it looks like a cushion, pedestal cushion for the box that the pummel is contained in. And it basically is set up with a magical tether. What would you like the reaction to be when this thing is lifted out of here? Do you want it?
Force cage.
Yeah, since Jeffrey was working with me, could I have it do force gauge? Or is that too much?
Jeffrey, make an Arcana check.
Can I help him with that, or is that no?
Yeah, you can help him with it. You're partnering together.
Okay.
It's trash.
It's not so good. It's too big of a spell.
Okay.
Jeff cannot. You cannot get this one in there.
What if we go with a smaller spell?
So one of the ones we could do is Magic Circle, which would contain a fiend
that's a good idea.
in the circle,
but not of Astani.
but not of Astani.
And if we wanted them contained, yeah, all right. I don't have any other spells that I think would be helpful. So
the fiend is what we're worried about, knowing
that it's a fake.
That's a fake. The Vistani were less caring that they know that they're able to get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to be able to trace them.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Are we able to fit a level 3 spell into it?
Yeah, the level 3 will go in easily.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want me to put bestow curse in there?
Oh, jeez.
You
All
are
right,
asleep.
So you spend the next couple of days working on this plot. You stayed up pretty late into the night with the Sultan discussing this and all of these things. He does at some point in time get very real with you and say, if you succeed in this, do not forget who helped you. I will need a name drop to the powers that be.
Pull out a piece of paper and just write a little bit of information that kind of provides him with a thank you, but also in kind of a contractish format.
Okay. He reads it over. That will suffice.
A name drop with the powers that be.
Yep.
We'll name it Appendix or Addendum 2, the original contract.
So, and then he tells you that a meeting with the broker has been arranged.
Okay.
And you are going
the
to.
broker.
He is a unique entity that handles high level transactions to make sure that all things come out fairly.
In that, do we think that someone is going to attempt to harass us before that, since that would be a big deal to mess with the broker?
Yes. If somebody tries to steal this, it will definitely happen before the broker arrives.
If the broker arrives and we don't have the thing, how much trouble are we in?
Quite a bit of trouble.
Okay. We don't want to actually sell this. So we will, if we are successful and we have the thing when the broker arrives, how do we still keep this thing that we have?
Can we deny an offer of purchase?
You can.
Without
I think that'd be the
ramifications?
simplest thing is
Okay.
we would deny the purchase.
Mhm.
Okay. Nope, that's fair. That makes sense.
Talking to the Sultan, would there be a way that we can conceal this on us where the real one, that a fiend would not know that the one that somebody else is carrying is a fake and that somebody else is carrying the real one?
He reaches out and grabs the bag of holding off of Jeffrey's belt and opens it up. He's like, if they cannot see it, he's like, I don't know what to tell you. He's like, I'm guessing it's been out. And he's like, it makes me feel drunk being in its presence.
I'm going to shove it in the bag.
He says the feeling subsides.
Okay.
What is it about it that makes you feel?
How does it make you feel?
Oh no, I'm asking like what is the property of it?
The fully constructed item will give whoever holds it ultimate authority over the 9 realms.
Oh, is it a bad thing if we give this back?
It is, but we already had that conversation with the angel.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are beyond our understanding.
Jeez.
Oh, why? Why? No, this is Patrick.
Yes, that's exactly how I want to be, like, every day.
For real, I could go for a burger right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, every day I could go.
So, the meeting is arranged to happen at an inn. He arranged the meeting at a particular inn in Nightborough where the other piece was allegedly stolen.
Okay.
So, it is called the Chained Spirit. It's a fairly common inn and tavern. It's a bit sophisticated. It's not as low down as the Spicy Pixie. It is more of a cokehead bar. Like if you're gonna talk about vices, it's more of an upscale drug use bar than it is anything else. How do you want to set the bait? Do you want to stay there the night before, the week before?
Yeah, night before.
Yeah.
I mean, we could stay there a little longer. There's probably no downside to that.
Okay.
I think
So-
I think we just stay. I think we just stay there.
All right. So the meeting's been arranged.
Does the Sultan have a lead case that we could put the rod in? The real rod?
Then we
Yeah, that could be provided for you. A lead case inside the bag of holding.
Yeah,
Yes.
we should totally put the fake one in one too, because we know what we're holding on to. Take that
Yeah.
precaution. The fake one should also be in a lead-lined box.
To make it look like you're going an extra mile to protect it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Extra protection. Maybe even putting it in another bag of holding.
No,
Oh my
no. You don't
Not a bag of holding. No, the fake one. Because we're trying to go that extra mile to maybe see if we can get borrowed a bag of holding to put it in because that would keep it safe.
I got really excited too, Andy. I was like, yes, please, can we do this right now? Because this is going to get really...
I mean, I'm perfectly okay with destroying a section of hull with a bag-in-bag situation. I've wanted to use it somewhere, and this is the best place.
Yeah.
Because in reality, it's going to happen in our keep, but it's way funnier if it happens here.
So everything is put into motion. You guys head for the Changed Spirit. You arrive 3 days prior to transaction date. In the middle of the night, on the eve of transaction day.
For what it's worth, before we get too far, for what it's worth, I am setting up an alarm every night.
Okay.
Just cause.
I'm setting up alarm, like, every time alarm is not up, because the last hours I'm putting it up. Now, I don't think it's going to work, but just...
No, you go the extra mile. You set up defenses around this thing. It makes sense. You'd still cast alarm. You are taking precautions over this. You make it look like you are doing everything you can to protect this box.
I will also be casting Magic Circle around wherever we leave the box every night, even though it only lasts an hour.
Okay. So, you guys set this up, and in the middle of the night, how do you want to set up watch order? Because sometime during the night, stuff's going to go down.
I'm going to go first because Jeffrey gets sleepy.
I'll go third.
Second.
And at the beginning and end of my watch, I will cast Magic Circle.
Would it be possible for Othig and I to take the same shift?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we both have terrible perception. Maybe we can give each other advantage.
Right on.
That's my thought on that.
That's a good thought.
That's a good thought. So you guys sit back to back with the box, like right between you.
Yep.
And I need you to make perception checks.
Like I've got a spread of glaives around.
Yeah. Go ahead and.
It's definitely that first one, not the second one.
I meant Othig and Thanok because this happens on second watch.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want me to roll it?
Yep, go for it.
You've got the same -1 as I do.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Can't even roll it at advantage.
Oh man.
This is so typical. So typical.
We're both like,
So-
hey, do you remember that one time
I
we
want to
chased
know
the
how
Yahtzee across the
diligent I was.
Like whispering to each other about all the
Oh,
cool
man.
crap we've done, and
Yeah.
They're pounding ales. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're just pounding ales.
Oh man.
They ran out. Othig went to get more. Thanik was like, well, yep, sounds good.
I feel like this is going according to plan, though.
It's going according to plan. Here's what happens. Jeffrey, your watch is a little bit more spicy than this because you are awoken by Othig and Thanok who are like, it's gone. It's gone. It's just gone. None of the spells were set off, but the box is gone.
Which box?
Awesome.
The fake
The
box.
fake
And
box.
laying on the floor between your two butts are 3 Vistani Taroka cards.
Dude, 3.
Huh.
All of them inverted.
Not 6, which means whatever the 6 thing was is bigger and more powerful.
Unless they got 2 rods.
Unless it was 2 pieces. Yeah. Yep.
2 pieces.
Yeah, I'm guessing they got the Wand of Orcus. For
So
6.
you pull
Or
the
the
Dark
full
Lord card, the Donjon card, and the Marionette card.
Do we feel like these are or do we know that these are the 3 that he was missing?
You know he did not have these cards.
Yeah.
That means these are the 3 he wants.
So I had this plan in my head and I didn't say it out loud. And it wouldn't have been an issue up until you brought out the lead box, and then it totally threw me off, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was planning on scrying on the fake one, since like Othig and I worked on it. I should be familiar with it. But now I
You
can't.
you can scry on the lead box.
How familiar am I with the lead box?
You probably made it.
No.
Did I make it, or was
At
it?
the very least, he touched it.
Yeah. You'd be familiar enough to touch it.
No, but it would make more sense to scry on the fake pommel.
Unless it's inside of the lead
Unless
box.
it's inside the lead box, which I can't.
Correct.
That was the whole reason why we put it in the lead box so you can't scry on it.
Nah, I'm thinking they didn't take it.
So, what do you guys want to do? Your box is missing. You've been given 3 very terrible cards. All of which, in an inverted state, you have nobody to give you the prophecy of this, but these are terrible cards.
But do we
can
know
take them
that?
back. We can take them back. Yes, we do. The Sultan told us that we can take them to the Sultan and possibly change our fate by having them read.
But I
That's
would
what we should do with them.
like to scry on the box.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. Can we contact the broker and let him know that the item was stolen?
You can. Actually, you cannot.
Well, I know we cannot, but can we go back to the Sultan? Do we have enough time to make it back to the Sultan where he can contact the broker to let him know that the item was stolen?
Sure.
Because that way they think that they got away with the real one.
You probably don't, because the Sultan is in Bitterhold and you're in Nightborough. You are hours and hours away from him.
I can cast Sending Mav. That's probably the only option.
Would
we
he
have.
pick up the phone?
I don't think he has a choice. He can choose whether or not he wants to respond, but I don't think he has a choice as to whether or not he hears me.
Does he get the receptionist?
Are you pooping?
Sending is the best spell on the planet.
So before we do any of that, though, I would like to scry immediately
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
to get some sort of insight into where the thing's
Okay,
going.
so you scry on this, and you see a late 20s, early 30s young lady, Vistani by the look of her in her dress, running with your box up the side of the mountain, Nightborough. You can see the casino not too far off in the background. So you know about where she is, and she is headed for the mouth of the waterfall, where there is a large cavern that leads to tunnels underneath Mount Avernus. She falls, stumbles, drops the box, cuts herself, and looks at her hand like, I'm bleeding. Like she is shocked at what she's seeing. Picks the box back up and continues to run with it. And she makes it to the mouth of the cave. And when she goes inside, your scrying is stopped.
Well,
You were surprised that she was bleeding?
yeah,
It was painfully obvious. And I would say, make an insight check.
All of us?
No, just
Fanac.
Fanac, because he's the only one looking at this.
Yeah.
That's really pretty good. She's running awkwardly. Like, she is moving in such a way that it seems like she has not actually moved her muscles physically in a very long time. Like, she's clumsy.
Almost like she's a puppet?
No, not quite like that.
No, like she's been a captive forever.
It's more like a puppy with its big feet. Like, she's just clumsy. And it is just a very bizarre thing to watch a humanoid of this age be this clumsy.
Yeah, she's probably never seen blood before.
like when a Great Dane is in that weird space of like being a puppy and growing,
out of its
and like
tube.
its legs are too long.
Yeah.
And
its head weighs more than its body does.
yeah.
And yet it's just, there's no real good way to describe it other than she seems very uncomfortable in a body.
Okay. And she's bleeding.
And she's bleeding. And it is the only time she stops moving is when she cuts herself, and she stops and watches it. And she holds her hand up and watches it drip. It shakes it and watches it again.
Do we get a response from the Sultan?
The Sultan says, "Very good. Everything is going according to plan. You are going to tell the broker you do not accept the deal, or the item is stolen. Yes?
Item is stolen, preferably.
Is the
that's-
item stolen?
Yes,
not.
the item was
No,
stolen.
it's not. No, it's not.
The item is not. The fake is. We would need to lie to the Sultan.
But if we lie to the Sultan is telling the truth to the broker.
Yes, but we are lying about it.
To the Sultan. But
Yes, but if I tell my wife that I didn't buy something, so that she goes to my mom and tells her that I didn't buy anything,
Yes,
my wife's
the
not
Sultan-
lying.
No, but we are.
Sure. I don't know what your point is.
Yeah, seriously, you're all of a sudden concerned that the granite backs might lie?
No, I'm concerned about the Sultan will be breaking the law. We will. And that's the only thing down here that they respect.
Is the law. I'm with
Are we
Thanak.
breaking the law?
Yes. Because we didn't put the fake on auction. We put the real one, and the real one is not stolen. We have to at least see an offer to try and see what they're going to offer.
I also would say, and I forgot to mention this too, you would have noticed that Mav's magic circle trap did go off.
It just didn't stop it.
It just didn't stop it. So whatever it was wasn't a fiend.
Well, and
You do know it's a Vistani now, so.
Yeah,
Sure.
and we kind of figured that because of the cards. Like we
Yeah, but it's something's goofy. Other.
Matt would ask
for sure.
Jeffrey to respond with a question if it was the real one.
Jeffrey can't respond.
I can only send it once.
Can you send again?
No, I can only send it once.
Oh.
Yep.
I have one use with the charges on my robe, unless my robe gains.
So yeah,
somehow.
maybe we should play this differently then. Jeffrey, what are you telling him when you send it to him? Because he's going to operate off of that.
Because Mav seems to have a different idea. I'm waiting for the consensus on that because the group doesn't seem to agree on what I'm telling him.
Yeah. What story are you giving the Sultan?
Are we telling him anything? Because if we're not lying to him, there's no point in even reaching out to him until after the broker gets here. If you want us to lie to him, that's fine. We can do that. But I'm with Thanak on the fact that I don't think that's a workaround for the law down here.
Yeah.
It may be a loophole back home, but their loopholes are a lot smaller down here.
Yeah, I agree with Tony and Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Andy, in the fact that it should work that way based on the way that we understand law.
Yeah.
However, in the celestial realms, I don't think a white lie.
Yeah, I don't even think anyone here isn't saying that it's not a good idea. It is just not in this situation.
Well, then why don't we do this? Why don't we use sending to give him the information?
Yeah.
To see if he can cancel it. Best case scenario for us is everybody thinks that we no longer have it.
Yep, I would like to see if we can cancel it based on the fact that there was a theft.
So if we can tell the Sultan that the
What if we tell him along those lines and say,
we can say as expected the item was stolen.
no, not even say that. Just say, as soon as we contacted the broker for a deal, we have been robbed and things have been stolen from us.
Mm-hmm.
So we are calling off the deal because the longer that we don't want anything else stolen from us.
We've become targets and we know it.
We become targets, so when we feel safe again, then we will approach you.
So it is a non-specific item. We've been robbed, and yeah,
we've been robbed.
Reconsider.
And we want to.
Okay. So you send that message out. The Sultan responds that is well worded. He will send the necessary messages.
Okay.
We'll wait here until we hear from you. I think it's what I'll end with.
Okay.
Just to make sure we don't leave in case the broker demands that we stay.
Okay. So, you guys, you sit in your room and you wait it out, and you are summoned downstairs at the appointed meeting time with the broker. One of the servants in the inn comes to fetch you. Says the gentlemen of the appointment have arrived.
Does somebody else want to go down? If not, Jeffrey will go down for sure. If anybody else wants to come down, I can.
I don't see why we all shouldn't. Unless
I can. Here's the deal. You guys are granite backs and I work for you. I can go down as a messenger to say that you guys are unavailable. And I wouldn't be lying because I am not a granite back.
Yeah, but we aren't available.
But you're not. You're scared.
Yeah, but that's not. I'm not afraid. I just don't like it.
Okay, so you guys go downstairs.
Yeah.
And sitting at a table on the far side of the common room are two individuals. One of them is perhaps the most handsome human you have ever seen in your life. He is got a good tan, bright, sparkling blue eyes, long brown hair that spills down to his shoulder length. It's almost black in just perfect waves, wearing an amazing, well-tailored suit, and around his head he has a silver diadem. Sitting next to him is pretty much the exact opposite of that, other than the fact that he is also very well dressed. There is a grotesque monstrosity very similar to creatures that you've seen in the Astral Sea. It has all these tentacles coming out of its mouth area, two huge eyes. The only difference between it and normal mind flayers is this creature in particular has an enormous exposed brain that sticks up tall over its head and then droops down its back. Like it's about 3 feet down its back. And you hear it speak into your minds the minute you enter the room. And it asks you to come take a seat. And it introduces itself as the broker and asks you to come take a seat.
Do we feel compelled, or is it just a...
No, it's an ask. You do not feel compelled, but it's not leaving a lot of room for other options.
He's politely telling us to come sit down.
Yes.
I will go and I will sit down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grab a booster seat.
Nice. Put some phone books underneath it.
Yep.
As you do, you watch as one of its tentacles slides over to the man sitting next to him and slides up his nose and stops there. And 4 others start to slide their way across the table and then start to head up towards your heads.
Jeffrey's just going to audibly again say, "Not this again."
And you hear it reassure you that it has no intention of devouring your brains.
Oh, good. There's not much left.
Are we allowing this to happen?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask if it's necessary.
It would reinforce absolutely to make sure that all deals are done with the utmost integrity.
Got it.
And so you plug in, and immediately you feel a connection with the other 2 beings. I want you to make intelligence saving throws. I will reinforce that nothing terrible is happening to you. However, I just want to know what you pick up. Oh, 27. That's really good.
Yeah, it really is.
16. Not bad. Oh, nat 20.
Yes. And a 1.
Othig is more concerned that this tentacle is touching his beard than it is his brain.
Yeah.
So, Mav, you get an immediate deep sense of the universe through this connection. Jeffrey, you get a sense of timelessness, and authority beyond measure, Thanak, you get an introduction. I'm surprised at how well you read me back. My name's Asmodeus. I believe you have something I want.
Dude.
And that's where we're going to stop.
So the handsome guy is Asmodeus?
Yeah.
Excellent.
The mind flayer is his brain buddy.
That's the broker.
The Mind Flayer is the broker.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
In my brain, I'm just going to be like, Sultan said no deal.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Here it is, guys.
We're in trouble.
On a different note,
What might
was
that
the
be?
Echidna the only one that could get us out of the hells?
No. She just said, but you do have a deal with her.
Sure.
And if you violate that deal, there will be consequences.
We also know that the angel told us this was something we had to do.
We had to get to Echidna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Capital D destiny.
Yeah.
Right. We also know that if Echidna dies, we no longer have a deal with her. I'm just going to remind everybody of that.
It's true.
Right, which is fine, but like
Well,
at least where I'm coming from, I am much more tuned into doing this because that's what the angel told us.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
This was all something that has to happen in order for
Something bigger.
yeah.
Yep.
Right on.
It's like
Good game, guys.
I'm
that-
frozen again.
You are
are.
even frozen. Even frozen.
We
from
can hear you, though.
Yeah, I gotta run a factory settings restart on my PC this week. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night.
All right,
night,
good night,
Andy.
guys.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.